Service members of Reddit. What is your worst military wife story?
Before we start, make sure you smash the subscribe button along with the tiny bell icon so you get updated every time we post new videos. Done? Great, let's start this video.
Moderate_moderate2 said, while delivering our fourth baby at a military hospital, we were talking to one of the nurses about infidelity and crazy things she had witnessed. She told us about a woman coming in with her husband for a C-section that was not scheduled. The woman insisted that she was scheduled for a C-section that day. They did an ultrasound and found that she was 3 months pregnant, not 9 months pregnant. She was willing to deliver a baby 6 months early so it would appear the conception lined up with her husband's mid-tour leave. Jared Sharps said, standing gate guard in Washington, D.C. Officer's wife drives through the gate and presents her ID. I wave her through. She doesn't move, asking me if I forgot something. I said no, I didn't believe I did. She said I forgot to salute her, pointing to the blue sticker on her windshield. I leaned close to her windshield and saluted the sticker, wishing it a good afternoon. I got removed from that duty, Gunbunny CB said. I was stationed at Fort Knox Key in the late 80s. A soldier's child turned up missing. Damn near every solider on Fort Knox was looking for this kid. We looked for days. Kid never turns up. I leave, and move on. Several years later I'm sent back to Fort Knox. Out of the blue, a bunch of activity is happening at a park several miles away. The little girl turned up, some of her anyway, and it turns out that the soldier's wife, the girl's step-mom, killed the girl. The soldier came home, found out, and hid the body in the park. The whole case was solved because the older sister of the girl was starting to get worried she was next. Told a teacher who got the police involved. That the worst I've heard of, over 20+ years in the army. Plenty of cheating, plenty of other stuff, Dirty Rango said. I got restationed back in the States from Germany. I flew my German girlfriend over and we ended up getting married. She went back to Germany 4 days later and I never saw her again. Lol Whack Horribly Adorable said, I am a military spouse but worked as a DoD employee with the Marines. Got a call that a military spouse was in the hospital, her place on base housing had gotten broken into, the 9-month pregnant spouse was raped and beaten and taken by ambulance to the hospital. The assault caused a miscarriage. I was devastated and went to the hospital with several officers in the Marines' chain of command. One of the nurses tending her looked me in the eye and said, I am very interested in how this is going to play out. I was so confused. The 9-month pregnant rape and assault victim was given an ultrasound and blood work performed upon being admitted to the hospital. She hadn't been pregnant. She wasn't raped. Her due date was the next day and she's been faking the pregnancy the whole time. She beat herself up and carved herself up with a knife, then made up the rape story resulting in miscarriage as a way to cover up the 9 months of lying to her husband about being pregnant. I've never seen this level of crazy until 3 months later, when said Marine reunited with batshit crazy girl even after all that. Tank_girl_gritty_235 said, posting on behalf of my husband, worst, they came back from a 15-month tour in Iraq. His platoon sergeant went home to find another man living in his house, with his wife and kids. His kids, toddlers, were calling the guy daddy. When he walked in, his wife basically said, yay. I want a divorce. I'm with him now. Worst part was the platoon sergeant and new daddy kinda worked together *, but was one of the few who stayed behind for clerical stuff while the rest deployed. Yes, I know this is absolutely against the rules. This was when shit was the Wild West and a DUI was an unofficial requirement for E6. ETA, I asked my husband what happened after this. He doesn't know what happened to Jody, aka deployment replacement daddy. The husband threatened to take the kids and kick her onto the street, which he definitely had grounds to do. Instead she agreed to on-demand sex and threesomes, including summoning a prostitute if he wanted one and helping him keep it on the DL. Buero said, a guy in my shop, Air Force, deployed to Iraq for 4.5 months. Before he left he signed over general power of attorney to his wife. While he was gone, she started fucking another guy in our shop, then signed the divorce paperwork as his power of attorney and his rights to see his kids, as well as draining his bank account. She went to live with the other guy in my shop and his friend off base. They were both arrested for check fraud when trying to pass off a check that was the roommates in the shopette on base. The guy she divorced eventually got full custody of the kids, and the other guy in my shop got kicked out of the AF. There were other stories of cheating and all of that kind of shit, but this one takes the cake. She actively worked to ruin his life when all he did was love his kids and get deployed to Iraq. Don't give anyone general power of attorney, ever. I don't care how much you trust them or how much you think they love you. Don't do it. You can give them specialized power of attorney that only allows them to handle your affairs that you very specifically need them to handle. Powerless Hero 111 said, "Oh, I'm gonna post some of my friend's highlights. She was the midwife on an Air Force base. Delivered lots of babies. Colonel brought his 16-year-old daughter in because she was pregnant. Turns out the father was a new junior enlisted. He did not last long in the military. Dude's wife left him, and moved in with her boyfriend off base while he was deployed. She got knocked up. Since they were still married, she was still going to the base for medical care. Their divorce wasn't final by her due date, so she still got to go on base and deliver. Her soon-to-be ex-husband, the military guy, had his buddies in security forces put a security flag on his soon-to-be ex-wife's boyfriend. The boyfriend couldn't be on base for the birth of his child. And, always the favorite, babies coming out with the wrong ethnic background of the father was at least a once-a-year thing. Action Quinn said, saw a newer airman with no belt on. I asked, why don't you have a belt? He said he can't afford one, so I give him $5 and tell him to go get a belt. A few weeks later I see him at Ruby Tuesday cleaning tables. I ask around, and apparently his wife was growing weed in base housing and he got kicked out of the military. He swore he didn't know what she was doing. Downvotes Dark Souls said, my brother-in-law was on both sides of shitty cheating stories. He married a woman he chatted to online for a few weeks when he was 19. Then he had to go to Iraq. A month after he left, she told him that he got her pregnant. He comes home after 6 months, then she has the baby. The baby definitely is not his. Fast forward 10 years. He's married to an awesome chick we all like. She works a job and takes care of everything around the house. He cheats on her with a 18-year-old girl that worked at Sonic. She catches him and leaves for a weekend to go stay with her sister to figure out what to do. Tobias Funk 6398 said, got back from an 8-month deployment. Buddy's wife was 6 months pregnant. Jojo Murder Junkie said, the issue is that people forget the military is filled with 18 to 20-year-old boys, many of whom emo lacked relationship experience, and marry the first girl who gives them attention. Stuckonpost said, I got accosted by a dependa at a Home Depot parking lot because I parked in her space. I parked in a veteran spot at Home Depot. I am a veteran, I had my 2 toddlers with me, and the spot was next to a cart stall. As I am pulling my kids out of the car, this lady walks up to me and starts asking me questions. Simple stuff, but nothing out of the ordinary, but I leave my kids in the car to be safe. She then starts asking about my veteran status, which was weird, but not bad. I told her, I'm a SGT in the 123 Trans Brigade, not real, part of the Natty Guard. Well, my husband's a lieutenant call, which means he's a higher rank, she said. Well, if he's a commissioned officer, he's already a higher rank. I said. So you should give me your spot. I was dumbfounded, WTF. I told her to pound sand, to which she wanted my info, rank, name, etc. So I said, yeah sure, and I'll make sure to give you the spot next time. No shit, 3 days later, I get a call from my NCOIC. Hey SGT Stuckonpost, do you know a LTC assface? To which no, I don't. Okay, I got a LTC in my office looking for you, said it's important. Alright. Lou's Small Mind said, oh man, I got one. Dude comes home from Iraq, beats the shit out of his wife, like a lot. She is in the hospital more than once, but no charges are ever brought up. BC military town, military police, military wife. Finally, he shoots her when he was drunk. She lives, but just barely. Fast forward a few months later and dude ends up floating in the river. Murdered. Gang violence? Retaliation for almost killing his wife? Bar fight gone bad? Who knows? Military town, military police. His wife sets up a memorial and several people decide to not go, due to the fact that this guy tried murdering his wife. Wife has emotional breakdown over people caring more about her than him. He's the brave one, she's at fault. He's the hero. So yeah, military wives, am I right? Carl Winslow Booty Hole said, dude in my platoon's wife falsely accused her ex-MP boyfriend of rape. Went as far as stabbing a mattress and swallowing condom to set him up. Dude spends weeks in jail before being cleared of all charges. When it comes to light, it was crazy lady vindictive bullshit. She amped up the crazy. She handed her friend her and my platoon mate's baby through a window at night while they watched a movie. Platoon mate went to check on the baby and it was missing. Prompted the first Amber Alert in Alaska history. She tried to pin it on the MP as some sort of act of vengeance. I can only imagine what the poor dude was thinking when the cops came to him with this. Arias Ujing said, not a service member, but my uncle as a NCO. His first wife cheated on him with a colonel's wife. He found them in a very sexual situation in his own house, so he did what he have to, and yeeted them naked out of the house for all the other people living in the military houses to see, including the colonel. Got a divorce, full custody of kids. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Comment below if you want us to cover a subject topic of your choice.